PlayStation Drive is starting. While you wait, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon on YouTube to be notified of future goodness. If you enjoy our show, we'd love it if you gave us a 5-star review or rating on your podcast service of choice. To continue the conversation, join the Carpool Gaming Discord, where you can find a wholesome community to have a chit-chat with. For some exclusive content, you can also support us on Patreon. And finally, don't forget to check out the Carpool Gaming website for an awesome range of merch. Links to all that and more are in the show notes, but without further ado, let's get revved up for the PlayStation Drive. Whoa!
What's up, everybody? Welcome on in. This is the PlayStation Drive episode 150. Oh, it's a milestone episode. Let's go, everyone. I am one of your hosts, Ryan, and I am joined, as always, by Fulia and Ron. How are y'all doing tonight?
Doing good.
I'm tired.
Yeah. It's early in the day for you. You know, you're time traveling. It's very exciting.
Yep, space travel and tired koala all in one today.
Yeah. It's fine. We've got predictions to get us all hyped.
Yep.
Again, it's going to wake Fulia up. If not, I will talk more excitedly throughout the show as the show goes on.
Keep her awake, Ryan.
So she gets, she stays awake throughout the whole show. That's the main thing. I don't know. I'm excited to talk games with y'all. One thing to note, of course, I made a bit of a mistake last week. I said Matt was going to be back this week. I was incorrect. Matt is actually in New York this week. So Matt will be back with us next week. So shout out to Matt, by the way, for being you. But anyways, this is the PlayStation Drive where we talk about PlayStation all the time, except for when we talk about the weather at the top of the show. Guys, I'm so excited. Shorts weather is finally back, y'all. I mean, shorts and hoodie weather here in Canada is returned. I'm excited. I'm excited to actually go outside again. Although, I know that the super humid summer is going to be here around the corner. And I know Fulia is over there bracing for winter at this point, so I'm sorry, Fulia, for rubbing it in your face.
It's okay. It's 13 degrees Celsius right now. I've got my heater on. That's how cold it is here.
Wait, 13 degrees Celsius isn't that cold? Because
It's cold.
I mean, it might be...
Let me convert here.
I guess for you, Fulia, when you do the conversion, I guess that kind of makes sense, because, it's only 16 degrees out right now, Celsius, here in Canada. But I'm, outside in shorts and a hoodie, because that's, warm for us here. Because I'm too used to
55 is chilly, but it's not too bad here.
Yeah. Rybo asks, did Ryan bust out the jorts? I don't actually own a pair of jorts, Rybo. So I have lots of shorts, but no jorts. I don't think I've. You know what? Now that I think about it, I don't think I've ever owned a pair of jorts before. Nor have I ever created my own pair of jorts from a pair of jeans before. This has not been a thing.
Sorry, there's no need for it to be a thing. This is fine.
Yeah. Wait, Ron, you mean to tell me you're not a jorts guy?
I'm not a jorts guy. Nah. It's not my thing.
I like jorts. Jorts are cool.
Yeah. Oh, look. Star Athena actually chimes in. That's warm for here as well. Oh, look at that. Not just Australia. You expect it to be on fire all the time, so it's weird that when it's not, I guess. That makes sense. But anyways, this is the PlayStation Drive. We probably should talk about PlayStation. But before we do that, we got to do a little housekeeping. So first of all, we got new patrons over at patreon.com/carpoolgaming, starting with Sean Hinnigan, who joined the ad-free tier. So welcome on in, Sean. Now, for folks who don't know, if you're listening on audio feeds, you get a commercial midway through the episode with yours truly, trying to tell you all about patreon.com/carpoolgaming, so that when you sign up, like Sean has for the ad-free tier, you don't have to hear me during the episode, interrupt your episode every single week. So shout out to Sean for signing up for the ad-free tier. But then we also got 2 new members to the gold member tier, which of course is the second official tier of the PlayStation Drive. Tech Mike and Hoppel both joined up at the gold tier, both upgraded from previous tiers, so were already patrons. But shout out to Tech Mike and Hoppel as well as all of our patrons over at patreon.com/carpoolgaming. Of course, we've got lots of great content over there, including Fulia. You're on a little podcast called the Patreon Podcast for Patrons Podcast, and also the Real Podcast. So lots of Fulia on the channel.
The week of Fulia.
It was like the week of me when I came back to the PlayStation drive as well.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say, I think you might hold the record for the longest pants episode at like
According
2.5
to Seth,
hours.
I am. It's not a little podcast to say the least. I ramble a lot, so I apologize. But if you all like that sort of thing and want me back on the rotation, then I'm all for it.
Yeah. It's one of those things too where like, in my head it kind of makes sense too that that's the case, because like you already do your own solo podcast every single week, so it's like it makes sense that you're kind of used to the rambling and stuff like that. Whereas like a lot of people I know who hop into the Pants podcast for the first time, they like feel a little bit weird because they're not used to doing solo podcasts. Where it just you were so natural at it.
For me, it's more, I just blurt everything out. I'm just like, all right, let me just go with it. And I like the fact that everybody's commenting on how the podcast begins. It's like a very immersive experience.
Yeah.
Bringing you to the land down under.
Exactly. And then Ron, of course, there might be something with you coming up pretty soon as well on the Patreon as well.
Might be.
Look out for that on Patreon as well. I don't have anything on Patreon coming up, folks, so don't look at me for this stuff. But anyways, let's grab our 8 tracks, pop them in. It is time for the playlist. Time to talk about the games we played this week, starting with, as always, Ron, what'd you play this week, man?
Still on Centennial Case. Still having a good time with it. I finished the 4th case not too long ago. I don't know how many cases there are. I'm assuming it's probably only about 2 or 3 more to go. Still having a really good time with it, man. FMV games are usually not my jam, but this one is. I am really enjoying it. The investigative thing is great. Solving cases in the past and in the present is, it's good stuff. Good stuff.
Nice. Well, Ron, if you ever need suggestions for FMV games,
boy.
if you want like 20 more suggestions just to be thrown at you, just let me know, because I love FMV games.
No, Fred. I have enough on the wheel. I'm good.
Yeah. Because I feel like 10 Dates is the type of game that Ron would love to play. Just
Oh
throw it on
God,
the
no.
wheel.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
That's a fun game.
No, thank you. Thanks.
Game. Good God. Fully, how about you? What did you play this week?
Nothing.
No
I
games.
Had no chance to play any games this week. I have been playing a role at a musical theater show called Into the Woods this past week. I was a radio mic tech out the back. So I've been very busy this past week. I had no time for any gaming, unfortunately.
It happens.
But you know what? That's even though that's a lot of work, that sounds like fun work. That sounds like you had a great time. Like regardless of how sleepy the koala is at this point.
Yeah, because I went from going from my usual job, my part-time job, straight to the theater afterwards every single day this past week. And so last night we bumped out after our final show. And so today I am just like, just like dying. Got a bit of a zombie koala today.
Aw, I'm so sorry. But, at least we're going to regale you with the games we played. So hopefully that'll be like, it'll make you feel like you played some stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I've been drawing a lot with my tablet. I had my tablet with me during the downtimes at the theater. So while the show was running, I was drawing stuff. So that was keeping me preoccupied for a while.
That's good. Yeah, I mean, that's a very similar feeling to when I had my Nintendo Switch with me at work this week during downtime during live streams, and I was playing some Alleyway on the Game Boy on my Nintendo Switch. It's very exciting. Alleyway, for folks who don't know, is like a breakout clone that Nintendo made that launched with the Game Boy. That I remember that box art is like ingrained into my brain for all the advertisements from when the Game Boy was first coming out, or when I would just see it on the shelf all the time. But two chats I want to highlight in the chat here. Number one, Bowser says Ron should play Not for Broadcast. I should everyone. Fully seems to agree with that one.
I haven't played it yet, but it is in my backlog on Steam. I have bought the game. I really do want to check it out because of the fact of my background in broadcasting. So I'm kind of curious. I am very curious.
I remember Matt and them talking about it, but I'm not too familiar with it. But I'll look into it. I mean,
they played it as a backtrackers game at some point.
Okay, and that's where I
late
remember
last
it.
year.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the other comment I want to highlight, Ron. Michael Bannerman says Ron should spin the wheel on the show sometime. Wouldn't that be something? I would love to see that, Ron.
Yes.
Unfortunately, Michael, I'm going to be spinning the wheel tomorrow. but I'll make a video of it and I'll send it to you.
Come
One
on,
day-
Ron. You couldn't
one
just
day
time
off.
it with tonight.
I'm not gonna hold off a whole week to spin the wheel and play my next game.
You can just, if you have the wheel prepped, we can spin the wheel tonight, Ron.
But I'm not done. I'm not done with Centennial Case yet.
You can preemptively spin it for the next to get the next game ready. What
Yeah,
if you want to get it pre-installed?
No, Mike's gonna be all right. He's gonna be all right. I'll send the video to him.
One of these days,
Mike will get it.
one of these days, Ron, you're gonna have to spin it on the wheel
Yes.
on the show.
It will. So if it's close enough, I will actually purposely save it for the show.
Okay. I'm counting on you, Ron. Counting on you. We can't let's boo this man. Poor Ron.
Mike, do not forget I know where you live at. Do not do this.
Jesus.
Well, that's one of my best friends. So of course I actually do know where he lives.
You're not just being creepy. Excellent.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness me.
Anyways.
Yeah, Fulia can already tell where the show's going today. It's just very off the rails. Fulia's not here to keep us in line, so yeah. Anyways, I played some games this week, y'all, because first off, I'm still playing that Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I'm on Chapter 11 now. I've blown past
Oh, man. Oh,
at
yeah.
this point.
Yeah, you way past him.
Yeah, but I'm also like, I talked about it on last week's show. I think I'm just focusing on the story at this point, not worrying about, doing all the side stuff anymore. Like I'm still doing some of that stuff to kind of keep my level up and to make sure that, I can keep up with the oncoming battles. And just, it's fun. It's still fun to do some of the side stuff that's in the world, but I'm not like going out of my way to do everything anymore.
So you're not concerned with doing the platinum or nothing. You're just cool with just playing what you want to play and just having a good time.
I mean, I said it from the very beginning. I wasn't going to play for the platinum anyways. Because like I was actually doing the 100% in the world stuff for fun.
Okay.
Not for the platinum, because I was not. There's no way I'm going back and playing that game on hard mode.
That's a platinum I don't think I would bother with.
No.
So
Yeah,
I can
exactly.
understand that.
Yeah, so I'm like firmly in it with the story. The story has gotten really good. So I'm like, the end is in sight. There's only 3 chapters left.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a game that I expect to wrap up in the next week or two. And then we can finally move on to some other games. But I'm still really, really enjoying it more than I thought I would. But then, of course, I was like, oh, well, I'm going to take this nice break from Final Fantasy 14. Things are going to be great. I opened some doors for things. And then they announced, Ron, that a Mountain Dew sponsorship has come to Final Fantasy 14.
Yes, I heard about this on the Xbox Drive. He was talking about that.
Yeah, because you can earn yourself the Mountain Zoo mount in the game, which is a mount, almost like a big kind of dragon, but it's color-coded in the Mountain Dew Baja Blast colors. And it's got like lore in the game where if you read like the item description from the item that you earn to, unlock the mount, it talks about how like there are these like scholars and alchemists that actually exist in the world that that actually created Mountain Dew in the lore of Final Fantasy 14. So congratulations, Mountain Dew has now become canon in the Final Fantasy 14 lore.
Wow.
Because,
Oh my God.
because as part of the promotion, you can also earn like mini bottles of Mountain Dew that your character can use as like an emote to like drink in the game and stuff like that. So it's like, these are going to be things that are long past after the Mountain Dew thing has become, like promotion is over. But I'm still trying to buy Carpool Gaming a house.
Oh, we have a question. Koala has a
Maybe
question.
we'll do that. But go ahead, Fulia.
What flavor is what is it? Baja Blast?
I don't really know. I've never drank Mountain Dew before. But
I've only ever had just the OG Mountain Dew. We don't
You
get
not
any
had the
of the
Code
other
Red?
flavors.
I like
here.
Code Red a lot.
it's like
Code
a
Red's good.
teal. It's like a teal flavor. It was once, Fulia, a exclusive flavor to Taco Bell. You couldn't buy Baja Blast as a separate product. You had to go to Taco Bell and drink it. That was the only way to actually get it before. And then eventually, Taco Bell lost the exclusivity to Baja Blast. It's now available in the wild.
Yeah, so I never had that one before then. Okay.
Yeah. I know Bowser also was talking about it. Of course, she chimes in the chat. She got her Mountain Dews today. So that's been a thing. But also I went back because there's a big event at the Gold Saucer happening right now where you basically get double the currency for Golden Saucer basically for the next couple weeks. Plus, there's this separate Moogle treasure trove event that's happening right now. Needless to say, there's a lot of free, cool stuff happening in Final Fantasy 14 right now. So I'm like, oh, well, I need to do those in kind of my off time when I'm not playing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. But then also I played another game this week that I can not say anything about till next week's show. But I can say I played it. I am playing Senua's Sacrifice Hellblade 2 on my PC using a DualSense controller. So the review, I think, will be up this week. On Tuesday, Sean is doing the review, and then we'll have a bunch of coverage throughout the week. So stay tuned for that. I know, again, this is a PlayStation podcast, but I'm sure Hellblade 2 might come to PlayStation one day. So, I mean, it's okay to mention it.
It will.
Yeah.
It will.
Yeah. So I've been playing that, but that's about it. Those are all the games I played this week. And look at that. We were making record time for it. So usually we're not, all the way through the playlist, 15 minutes in the show. But it's time for topic of the week. Of course, this gives us plenty of time to give our predictions because this week, folks, the time has finally come. E3, or quote-unquote E3, is around the corner. We do know that there is going to be a PlayStation showcase sometime before the end of the month, and it's either going to be this week or next week. So I wanted to make sure that we as a group, even though I wish Matt was here to be part of this, I wanted to make sure that we as a group were able to give our predictions before the show because it'd be fun. It's fun. I love doing predictions when we know about shows coming up. And just in case it's this week, we wanted to make sure that we got these predictions out into the world so y'all knew what to expect, or in some of these cases, not to expect at some of these showcases. And we'll go through here. We even have a couple questions in relation to this as well, which we'll get to a little bit later on. But I think we're going to kind of go around the corner here and kind of give like 3 predictions. And then if we have any honorable mentions, we'll talk about them from here kind of thing. And the best part is we at Carpo Gaming, when we do our predictions episodes, we have a tradition here where we usually will assign points to this to see who is the most accurate after the showcase is over. So there might be a little bit of a game that we might do when the showcase is over. We might come back and tabulate the votes and crown the winners. Ron, you and I both know it's Fulia. Fulia is going to win this. We both know this. So
She doesn't seem to have much faith in herself, but I have faith in her.
you say this, but she's wearing like 5 different crowns right now. Like she's the queen of a lot of stuff.
She is. She is.
She's definitely
She
the
won't.
favorite,
She
I
won't
think,
acknowledge it though. But
I'll only
yes.
acknowledge one of those crowns, and that's
Yeah.
the demo queen.
Yeah, I feel
wait.
like she's like
You're not the cozy queen all of a sudden.
Yeah.
What happened to that one?
No, look, Lockleth is more the cozy queen than I am.
But she's not the cozy queen of PSD.
That's true.
There you go.
See, just
And
here's
another
your
crown,
madam.
Another crown it is.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yep. And Yon32 points out a good point in the chat. Ryan takes the rules very seriously. No half points. That is usually true, but I'm actually offering our friends here a little bit more flexibility here. Where I've heard people's feedback where they don't like how I'm such a stickler for the rules. Where
Wow.
where if we say in the prediction that we're kind of all in on it, that's one thing. But I will allow half points if it comes down. If like you get half of something right, I think it's fine. But anyways, let's get into it. And I wanted to give both of y'all some time to think on your predictions here first. So I'm going to go first with them on mind to kind of set the stage for how I want this to go. So my first prediction is Silent Hill 2 remake. It's going to be shown here. We all kind of know this. I mean, it's been shown at the last 3 State of Plays and the PlayStation Showcase last year, but I'm going all in on this one. This is an all or nothing bet where if I do not get this exactly right, I get no points because, it's a softball prediction to just say Silent Hill 2 is there. So I wanted to stretch it a little bit. Wanted to go in depth with that. So I wanted to say Silent Hill 2 remake gets a release date. The release date is October 29th of this year. Right in time for Halloween.
I see what you're doing there.
But not on Halloween because Halloween's on a Thursday and Konami doesn't release games on a Thursday. Konami releases games on Tuesdays. So I feel like this is the perfect time for this kind of game. Also, Konami last year released multiple releases around the exact same time frame, like the last week in October with the Metal Gear Solid collection. So I feel like this is the perfect time for this game to come out. October 29th. I'm sticking my claim. And if I get this wrong in any way, like if it's October 30th or something, no points for Ryan. These of course, are notes for future Ryan to when tabulating the points. But October 29th, I wanted to be bold with my first prediction, and there it is. And plus, I love Silent Hill too, so I'm so excited that this game hopefully is actually coming out this year. But what do y'all think of that prediction?
I think it's a good chance. Yeah, I'll go with that.
Okay. Okay. I like that. I like the confidence, Ron.
Yeah, I think you nailed that.
Yeah. So Ron, since you of course like that prediction, I'm going to go to you next, my friend. What is your first prediction?
I'm pretty sure about this one. I think Wolverine is going to get a story trailer, perhaps with a little bit of gameplay in it. I'll be surprised if that doesn't show up.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure on that one.
Do they give like a release window, you think? I'm not going to hold that against you if they don't.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think they're gonna be a bit wary on that one because they already said that there's nothing's coming this year, first party wise. I think they don't want to announce that too soon. They'll probably say that for like a state of play at the end of the year or something.
Okay. I like it. I think there's a chance of that or something else that I might get to a little bit. But I think you're on the right track. I think Insomniac is there with something with me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think you're on to something. Fuya, what about you? What is your first prediction for us?
I'm just gonna I'm not very good with predictions because usually when I go to a showcase, I have zero expectations and then I'm surprised. So that's how I usually go into these. But if I have to guess something, I'm gonna say that they're going to announce a showcase for the PS5 Pro, which will be happening later in the year. I think in Q4.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. So they're going to announce...
Got one of my predictions, damn it.
You know what? That's actually, I don't think... Originally I was ready to blow that one off a little bit. Then I remembered back to when they announced at last year's showcase the PlayStation Portal in a similar way where they're like, hey, just so you know, this is coming and we'll talk about it later.
Yeah. They're going to acknowledge the existence. They're going to be like, yes, it exists.
Yeah.
Yes.
Tune in later this year.
Yeah,
yes.
I think you actually might be onto something with that one, Fuya. I think
way to go, Koala.
That's a better prediction than you think.
Got to cover my list from now on. How dare you?
Yeah. Well, that's why I came with 6 predictions, just in case some of y'all overlap with some of mine, because there are some common ones here. For example, Ron, I'm actually kind of surprised you went with Wolverine instead of this one, because I'm going to counter your pick here.
Okay.
I believe Insomniac does not bring Wolverine because I think they are going to announce Spider-Man Venom is announced with a little gameplay, like a little teaser trailer. It's given an ambiguous 2025 release date.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm all right with that.
Very similar to Spider-Man Miles Morales, I think that this is something that just makes sense. We've already kind of seen leaks of this a little bit, so we know that it is coming. Yeah. And I feel like this is probably sooner than Wolverine, which is why I think they announced this first over Wolverine. That's kind of
Insomniac can do whatever they want because they've been carrying the house for years now. They might do both of them.
That's also true too. Kind of like when they announced Wolverine in the first place, that's what they also announced Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that would be kind of awesome if they do both.
Yeah. Because I think the Venom game is going to be like a smaller thing, like Miles Morales, where it's going to be like a 4 to 6 hour experience. So that's why I feel like it's going to come first. Also, I think we're also waiting on Spider-Man 2 DLC as well, which might, stop these plans a little bit because maybe they just announced the Spider-Man 2 DLC instead of this. But we'll see. But I definitely think Insomniac will be there in some capacity. But
they're going to be. I'll be surprised if they're not.
Yeah. So there you go. Next up, Ron, what's your second prediction, my friend?
Ghost of Tsushima 2. It's got to be at least announced or a teaser trailer of some sort. I think most people who are going to be tuning in for the showcase are going to be expecting that. If that doesn't show up, that's going to be pretty disappointing. So as long as they're working on it and they just tease it, I think everybody will be satisfied with that. But if they show a little bit more, I'm perfectly fine with that. All for it.
Yeah. I'm ready for Sucker Punch to just announce anything at this point. So,
hey, they're proven product. I'm fine with whatever they do, but Ghost 2 would be great.
Yeah, exactly. Now, how would you feel, Ron, if they announced Ghost of Tsushima 2 and Seth came out and said, I'll play that, but then not play the original?
I just want him to play it. So, you know what? I'll take what I can get.
Fair enough. Maybe that's the way we can win Seth over.
Hey, whatever it takes. Whatever it takes.
Yeah. One of these days, we're going to get him to play it. But
Hopefully.
Yeah. All right, Fuya, what about you? What's your second prediction?
I'm just going to go on a wild guess here, and this is probably going to be really ridiculous and silly, but I'm going to say that Blue Point Games is going to announce that they've got a game in the works.
Okay.
You might not be wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. At some point, they got to reveal what the hell they're working on. It's been years. It's been years. Come on.
I mean, yeah. I mean, wait, you say that, Ron, but it actually has been like at this point this year. It's been like 4 years since Demon's Souls came out.
Yeah,
So.
and the rumors keep that they're working on something. So yeah.
Well, I think they announced a long time ago in like an official press release that they're working on a new IP.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. That's what I want from them. I don't want them to do any more remakes.
Yeah.
That crew is talented. They deserve to have a new IP.
Right, because they've never really had one. So
Yeah,
is that
it's
kind
been
of
like a remake studio.
So then I have to ask Fulia then, since she made the prediction. What even though I'm not going to count this against you if this is incorrect, what are you expecting that they announced? New IP, remake? What do you think?
I don't know.
Okay,
I just said a new game.
okay. No, it's all good. No, like I said, I wasn't the whole thing against you. I was just curious. I was curious where your head was. That's all.
I'm not really that familiar with a lot of the exclusive Sony developers, so I know, I'm learning a lot from being on the PlayStation drive here, so I am sort of getting a gauge of what games, what developers are making, but at the moment for me, because I'm not really that familiar with Blue Point games, I'm just like, I think they're just gonna announce that there is a game in the works. They might maybe reveal a title.
Okay.
That's
another
as
one
far
from
as
my
I'm
list.
gonna go.
That's two. I don't know how you're doing this. Your space traveling somehow has gotten you in the bookcase, and you're looking at my
future,
stuff.
Remember?
Yeah.
Do you mean to tell? I feel like Fulia is probably just right behind those little blinds right behind you.
She might.
She's probably
She
just sitting there.
Interstellar
just staring over your
style,
shoulder.
miniature koala looking through.
Yeah.
No.
She sent her miniature koala familiar to her house to read the paper and report back.
Yep.
Something's going on.
Yeah. My God. Either that or like the convergence is happening between you two. There must be another eclipse or something.
This is the first time I am doing this. So
Yeah.
to Ron.
You're doing a fantastic job.
Usually me and him are on opposite sides of the
Nope.
spectrum.
Usually she's disappointing me, and I'm just like koala.
My God.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to give my third and final prediction here before we get to honorable mentions, of course. And this is one that's like a direct shout out to Nagachaka, Matt, who could not be here on the show tonight. But if he was here, he would have predicted this one. So I'm going to just steal it from him instead. Or I'm going to kind of say it in his place. But the points will go to me if it's correct. Resident Evil 9 is announced. Yep. It's coming out this January. You will play as Leon S. Kennedy in an open world return to the remains of Raccoon City. That's what I think is happening with this game. I think Leon's coming back, despite the fact that I really, really wanted the main character to be Rose, who was kind of like like Ethan Winters. He was like the previous main character's kid, and the story was kind of setting up her up to be like the successor to him and kind of like close up the modern Resident Evil trilogy with her. But then we've been hearing a lot of stuff about how it's probably not going to be her, especially after the Shadows of Rose DLC. I would actually be surprised if she was if she was the main character, but I still think she's going to be involved in the story in an interesting way. But with the Resident Evil 1 rumors coming about as well, where it sounds like Resident Evil 1 is maybe the next remake, that's why I think they're going to return to Raccoon City in some way. You're gonna go back to that location.
Matt is going to lose it. Matt is going to lose his mind if that's what they're doing.
Oh, please. I will also freak out if they do this, because I'm also a massive Resident Evil fan, so like I can't wait to see what they do next. And like this is like also half like my dream idea of what I want to see from them as well. So yeah, that's what I think is happening. Either way, Resident Evil 9 I think is imminent at this point. And like you might be asking, well, Ryan, why do you think it's going to be announced here at the PlayStation Showcase rather than at Summer Game Fest or at another showcase? And it's simple. Every Resident Evil game since Resident Evil 2 Remake has been announced at a PlayStation Showcase or State of Play, because they've always gotten like the marketing rights to the Resident Evil game, and I do not expect it to be any different with this one. So that's why I'm expecting it to be at this showcase, and then you'll learn more at Summer Game Fest, and then you'll learn more after that at the Capcom Showcase. Like that's kind of how they'll do this with the marketing spin.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. So Resident Evil 9, I think it's coming out in January. Please be excited. But Ron, give us your final prediction before we move to honorable mentions. This is the last one for points.
Let's see. because I know it's going to guarantee me points, I'm going to go for the live service stuff. They're going to show probably Haven's Heist game or Marathon or Concord or all three.
Okay. So they will show a live service game made
Yeah,
by
for
someone.
sure. They're going to. Despite my non-interest in it, but it's for the points.
Okay.
It's gonna happen.
I was only clarifying for future Ryan when he's tabulating points. What guide of measurement I should use to measure
Yeah,
this.
the live service announcement is going to happen. Just probably not all of them. But probably just maybe one of those three. But
Well, I think unless it's been delayed, Concord's still technically supposed to come out this year. So,
I think so. I think I saw something where it said it's going to be out this year or something.
Well, they announced it that it's coming out this year a long time ago, but it's just
Yeah.
a matter of
they need
if
to
it's been
show
delayed
it.
or not.
If that's
Yeah.
the case, they need to definitely show it. That's for sure.
Yeah, exactly. I guess it just depends on if it's been delayed to next year or not. Is
Yeah,
what I would.
I
Find
guess we'll find out.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a realistic one. Slam dunk in my
Yeah,
opinion.
thank you.
Yeah. Although I will say, if we were playing the odds game, which we've done before as well, and we might do on some of our other prediction shows, this would be Sean Capri would be awarding you a 2 out of 10 on this one
Would he?
because it's like very safe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you know, we wanted to make that, you know, more open here in the PlayStation 5. But Fulia, give us your final prediction in the final prediction around the board for points.
Cool. So everybody's been seeing the tease for Lego Horizon. So I'm going to say that Lego Horizon's going to get a release date announced for the holiday season of 2024.
Okay. That's one that I actually had on honorable mentions because I believe you.
I had the Horizon remake as an honorable mention.
I
so
also
this
had
was
that
fine.
one too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think this year they are going all in on Horizon stuff. And I think that Horizon Lego game, you're right, Fulia. I think that if that is real, I think that actually is coming out this year. So, and it'll definitely be announced here if it gets announced. So it's actually happening. So yeah, slam dunk. That'll be interesting.
Go koala.
I was gonna say these are 3 solid predictions for you. You were
She was
so
all like,
uneasy about it,
my
but I'm like,
predictions suck.
I was just gonna
Literally,
say,
I literally just made them on the fly before we started recording.
I'm pretty sure Fulia is now officially the favorite to win the prediction.
She is. She'll get those.
But
Then she'll have another crown.
I'm just so curious to what that Lego Horizon game even looks like though. Like, is it gonna be like the latest Lego Star Wars game where it's like an open world kind of adventure, or is it gonna be like a more linear experience? I'm like, I just really want to know, like, because that's gonna be like super interesting. Because likewise, the thing about Lego games that's always been really fun is that you always switch to a bunch of different characters and you have like this large roster of characters available with different abilities to get through areas. But like, that's not Horizon's game at all. You're only playing as Aloy. So I'm like, I'm curious to know how that even is going to work with a Lego game.
Yeah. And I feel like from what I've seen from pictures, they look like, you know, I don't know if you know the types of Lego that, like, in terms of the figurines, like I feel like they're going to have like the Lego Friends style, because that's what the character looks like from the images that we've been shown. So I have a feeling they're going to go in that sort of a direction in terms of the art style, if we're going to call it that. But yeah, I know I've never played a Horizon game. However, I know that there aren't very many characters like there have been in a lot of other Lego games. So I feel like this one might be more of a linear story,
Well, Forbidden
but just
West
maybe
actually,
more family friendly.
Forbidden West has quite a few characters that they actually could do that with. So it's going to depend, really.
Yeah.
I mean, it won't be an exorbitant amount, just like some of the other ones that I've played. So, because I know with a lot of the Lego games, there's like a ton of characters you can get.
That's really the thing, because again, like, it's not so much the idea of playing as the characters that's the fun part, but the idea that the other characters have different abilities that get you through different areas. And,
Exactly.
And like you recruiting them is a big part of the Lego games. So, but one day I'll play Forbidden West. I still haven't played that game yet.
Sorry, you got time.
Yeah.
You got time.
One day I'll play Zero Dawn.
I mean, when the remake comes out, you'll play it then.
I mean, I already own it on
is fooled.
PS4.
No one is fooled by that quality. We know better.
I have it. I do have it.
I mean,
You
she
don't
might
believe
actually.
me?
I do believe you. You showed it to us. Whether I believe if you'll play it or not is a totally different thing.
That's why
Well, I
said one
mean,
day.
playing it might be one thing. Finishing it might be another. With
exactly.
with God
There
of
you go,
War being
Ryan.
the example.
Nah, nice.
But you know what? I think that'll be good enough. I think if more than anything, Fully, maybe the Lego game might be like the gateway to getting to
Yeah, maybe.
for Horizon for a lot of people.
Probably.
I know it's also a weird franchise too to do Lego with, because Lego has always been like a family friendly franchise, but like the Horizon games are not family friendly.
They'll probably add a little bit of comedy to it. Dinosaur,
no, of course, but
sure.
It reminds me of the old NES games we used to get based off horror games, like Nightmare on Elm Street or Friday the 13th, because those are certainly not kid friendly franchises, but they marketed those games to children. So
even though it's going to lose the edge, though, the robot dinosaur is just like the main draw.
Yeah,
it's so great.
But they'll actually like probably borrow a lot of elements from like the Lego Jurassic Park games in a lot of ways, because that also had like Lego dinosaurs in it.
Oh, I didn't know they actually had Lego versions of that one.
They did.
Yeah, they do.
Okay.
Yeah. Lego Jurassic World. It's actually a pretty fun game. I like that game a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, it goes through all the Jurassic Park movies. But anyways, let's move to honorable mentions. None of these count for points, but I kind of wanted to get to some into the ether as well. So first off, I did have Horizon Zero Dawn Remake or Lego Horizon being shown. So I did have that on my bingo card as well. One of the ones that a lot of people are going to hate if they announce this one, but I actually think there's like a solid chance that this happens. Starfield Complete Edition is announced for PlayStation 5. It's coming in September. Because if they announce that Starfield is coming to PlayStation, they're not going to announce it at the Xbox showcase, I don't think.
No, Xboxers will riot if they do that.
No, they will announce it at the PlayStation showcase and not the Xbox one.
Yeah, not the Xbox show. Hell no.
No, I think that they announce it here if it's coming out this year. Like I think it is. So, because I think like that's like going to be the first next Xbox game coming to PlayStation is Starfield. And it makes sense because like the expansion's coming out this fall. So I think that they're making this. They're like Yon32 already is in the chat. Shots. So. There you go. And of course, I had to throw this in here as well, but the new Astrobot game, I think is actually going to be a reality, and it comes out on...
I thought Koala was going to mention that. I'm surprised
I thought so too.
She didn't,
That's why I kept it off, because I think it's coming out September 18th is when it's coming out. So.
Oh, you picking dates. Okay.
That's what I do. Just hitting dingers over here, like a baseball player or some other player who hits a ball with a bat in a sport.
Cricket.
Yeah. That's a sport too.
Oh God.
Lacrosse. That's a sport too.
Oh boy.
But Ron, what about you? Did you have any honorable mentions?
Oh yeah. I'm thinking that Square Enix is gonna definitely show up with either the Final Fantasy IX remake, Final Fantasy Tactics remake, or the Vagrant Story remake that's been rumored for a while. It's gonna be one of them. Square Enix is gonna show up. I think they'll surprise everybody and drop one of those.
Okay.
Yeah. And of course, Housemarque. I'm pretty sure they'll probably show their new IP. It's about time. So, yeah. These are the honorable mentions I want to mention. There's a few more, but we can do that another time.
Okay. Hopefully the Vagrant Story remake is actually good this time, because I don't like Vagrant Story. I think that game's bad.
I had some issues with it, but I would like to see what they would do with a remake. If they can clean some things up, I'm all for it. The story was the bright spot of that. So,
yeah. To Michael Bannerman's question in the chat with saying Tactics remake, I actually think like people are overblowing that Tactics rumor a little bit. I actually think that that's going to be like a re-release similar to Final Fantasy VIII Remastered or like some of those other PS1 remasters, where I think they're just going to re-release either the PSP game or the PS1 game, but with like speed up options or the invincibility options.
I don't think anybody's going to have a problem with that though.
No, I think that's good. I actually kind of like that more than them doing like a full remake of it. But like a lot of people are expecting like a bigger remake of Tactics, and I think you're gonna get that with 9, but not with Tactics, I think. But yeah, that's a good one. I mean, even though like Square Enix has come out and said like they want to be more multi-platform and not have exclusives, I still think they probably have a lot of stuff.
They'll probably still favor PlayStation, but like you said, they'll release it for everybody.
Yeah, and I think like the next Mana game, which is like their next game, won't be at PlayStation because Xbox has the advertising rights for that one. So I think you're right. You're probably right. If they're here at all, they'll be one of those games. But Fully, but what about you? Did you have any other ones we left off?
I mean, I've probably got one, and that they're probably going to mention 1 or 2 PSVR 2 games that are coming.
Oh, I forgot that existed.
Because nobody really cares about PSVR 2 now. So I'm like,
pretty much, not even Sony.
I'm just going to continue to point behind my PlayStation 2 VR that's just staring everyone at the face during every one of these shows.
And I will point towards behind this shelf my MetaQuest.
I that's the thing. I didn't want to make any PSVR 2 predictions, Fulia, because I actually think there's a possibility that they don't show any VR games.
Yeah, that's the
Sony has better things to do.
Why.
They're like, you know what? Whatever.
No, I just think they've given up. Like I think I think the next time we get like a VR showcase from Sony, it'll be like maybe its own like shorter state of play that's VR focused, or just a PlayStation blog post. I think that's
save that for the blog post. Only blog like five people own a VR 2 and they care about it. It's fine.
Yeah. Oh, Kiku in the chat says Konami better not show up unless they have news on this weekend in remaster. I actually think that they will announce news on that at the Nintendo Direct in June, and not at the PlayStation.
How dare they?
Because that's where number one, that's where it was first announced.
Was it?
Yeah. And number two, I think they're just kind of positioning that. Like, I think that they want to position Silent Hill as Konami's game for this showcase.
I forgot about the Metal Gear Solid remake. That might be
there's that too. Delta.
Yeah, I forgot
that might
about
be there
that.
too.
You know what? Who knows? We might even get a remaster of Pepsi Man coming.
That's also
to
true.
PlayStation 5.
That's also true. I also didn't want to say it because it's the easiest slam dunk prediction in the world. But obviously, I think DS2, Death Stranding 2 will also be here. Just to get Ron excited. So. Carrying just watching Norman Reedus carry more boxes around.
If that happens, I will go out and I will buy a potato.
You will?
I will.
I am writing this down.
If Pepsi Man gets remastered or brought back as a sequel, I will buy a potato. I will.
Let's go.
I swear, if you come onto the show and just show us an actual spud, I am going to kick your butt.
I will get the actual real potato. I'll even get Tears of the Kingdom to bore myself to death with.
Wow.
You want to just buy my collector's edition copy of Tears of the Kingdom that I'm currently selling, Ron? Because you can have it.
It's not a glowing
You heard it
review.
here first, folks.
Yep, and I'm gonna stick to it. I'm a man of my word. So yeah, that happens. Pepsi Man gets announced. I sure enough will.
Yeah, we need Pepsi Man to come back. You know, it's time. If Mountain Dew can get a crossover in Final Fantasy 14, Pepsi Man can. Oh man, what if there was a Final Fantasy 14 Pepsi Man crossover and you can unlock Pepsi Man costume and stuff?
Pepsi Man skins for Fortnite.
Oh, dude, sold. Give it to me. I will go around, shooting people in the face going,
yeah.
Oh, goodness gracious, what is happening? Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. Yon32 chimes in. This is like a man faking the worst punishment. Yes, I'll go out and have an extravagant meal at an amazing restaurant as a punishment.
Sorry, John. Everybody's not a fan of the potato like you are, sir. That is not a good time for me.
Look, people like that potato.
Yeah, it's fine. Obviously, plenty of people like it.
I was playing it this week. Playing some Alleyway on it.
Yeah, there it is now. Nice shiny potato on the screen for all the listeners.
Yeah, there's
and
also
Animal Crossing edition too.
Yes.
There's also
play your PS2 games on it. Mm-hmm.
There's lots of good FMV games on it as well, Ron.
Oh,
I don't know if you knew this.
What do they do? Run in 360p?
Look, they got Corpse Killer on there. Corpse Killer, okay? It's great. You shoot zombies, and it's from the 90s. It's from the 3DO. It's great. You'd love it. Anyways, let's hit up these two questions we got, specifically about showcases. We're going to start with Toxic, who says, with all the Horizon games in development, do y'all think they will show one, or do y'all think they will announce Ghost of Tsushima 2 and overshadow Assassin's Creed Shadows? So obviously we talked about both a little bit here. It would be interesting if they announced Ghost of Tsushima 2 when we already know Assassin's Creed Shadows is coming, because maybe Sony doesn't want to overshadow it a little bit. But I don't know who has the marking rights to Assassin's Creed Shadows.
I was about to say, it's going to depend. If it shows up at the show, I don't think that Sony will do that to them.
Right.
But if Ubisoft is doing their own thing, they might not even have anything for PlayStation, and PlayStation might be like, forget it, whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. I think the way Ubisoft because they had the reveal for Mirage last year showcase, because I went back and looked at what last year's showcase actually had, in it, and they have the thing for Mirage, so they might actually be the marketing partner on Shadows. So maybe that plays into it a little bit, but like, I also think they're going to be very different games, despite the fact that they take place in, a similar time period, if that makes sense.
If Sony does show Ghost 2, then Ghost 2 is going to overshadow it. That's for sure. Yeah,
I think in the minds of the casual, you're probably correct about that. But yeah, with all the Horizon stuff, I think we all agree. Like I think there's going to be something Horizon there, whether it's Lego or remake. But Awesome Dave 1337 doesn't ask a Final Fantasy VIII question, but asks, "What is your dream announcement for this alleged showcase, and why is it a sequel to Nier Automata? The only reason I don't mention Final Fantasy VIII is because Square Enix is hinting at it being done with exclusives." Also, if Matt was here, Matt would say if it wasn't Resident Evil 9, it'd be the Nier Automata sequel, probably. But so this is mostly Awesome Dave chiming in from Matt, but I'm curious to know from y'all what your dream announcement, pie in the sky is. This does not have to be realistic at all. If you were in charge of Sony and you got to choose one announcement that they made, what announcement would that be? So to give you two some time to think, I thought of mine a little bit, and my true answer to this one is if they came out and announced that a sequel to The Legend of Dragoon is actually a thing and coming out at some point, because that would be like the dream announcement for me. I've talked about it many times, especially on RPG Cave. That's one of my favorite RPGs of all time. Now, that's a Sony first-party title, and they never did a sequel to it. And people love Legend of Dragoon, so I feel like that not only would get people very excited, but also that's like my dream announcement would be Legend of Dragoon 2 coming out at some point eventually. We'll see. But also it would be interesting to see what like a modern day interpretation of that would be. So got to throw that in there. That's like my pie in this dry dream announcement that I don't think will ever happen. But if I was in charge of, if we ran Sony, as someone might say, that would be what I think would happen. But Ron, what about you? What's your pie in the sky announcement? What's your dream announcement?
It's not going to be a Sony first party game, but it would be a Sony exclusive if Sega let Skies of Arcadia 2 come into existence. That would be my ultimate dream announcement. Nothing else will come close to that. I know it's not going to happen, but boy, if it did, whew.
I know some people in the community who would like freak out if that was a thing. Man. Like the internet would like burn down with people being so excited about that game. Right?
That would be so great.
Yeah. Of course, for folks that don't know, Skies of Arcadia is an old Dreamcast / GameCube exclusive that it's about Sky Pirates, and it's like a steampunk kind of role playing game.
And it was great.
Yeah, people love that game. In fact, actually, Ron, like people would freak out even if they just remastered the original. Like if they just brought back the original,
that would be fine. Yeah, I wouldn't even knock that.
Yeah, nice. And then, Foy, how about you? What's your pie in the sky one?
Honestly, I probably would go with maybe Astrobot being announced, like a new game coming this holiday season. That would be really cool. If we could just have that, I'd be very happy because I kind of miss playing Astrobot.
You're gonna get your wish. Astrobot's gonna get announced.
I really want it.
But what if it's the Monkey's Paw kind of announcement where they announce it, but it's for PlayStation VR 2?
Yeah.
We're just like, it's happening, but it's on PlayStation VR 2.
That would be horrible.
No, that would make me depressed as hell. I'll cry if that's the case.
I would hope that Sony would not do that. They got to read the room. No one wants a VR.
No, I don't think that's going to happen.
But I'm also selfish because I have a PlayStation VR 2 already. Right?
And that's understandable. You want to use it. You did buy one, so that's understandable.
Yeah. No, well, not only that too, but it's like Astrobot on VR before was really good. So it's just like I would love to do that for them to do a VR sequel. But you're rightfully, I think it'd be much better if it was not VR, or if it was both. Yeah. Like if there was a VR mode for it, but then also you could play it without VR.
Yeah. So it's compatible with the VR, but not required. Yeah.
Kind of like Resident Evil 4 Remake is, where it's like it's got its own VR mode, but then you can play it without VR if you want to. So, yeah. So those are our pie in the sky announcements. But let's let some of our friends into the car with us. It is time for the carpool. So we got Cwaggy, who asks, "I'm starting to look at the PlayStation library on Steam. What game do I start with?" So I don't know about y'all. I have not been keeping up with the PlayStation library on Steam at all because I don't play PC games. So
I
I'm not
can't
even
remember
sure like all the games that are even on there without even looking them up. Which of course I did not look them up ahead of time because I'm a big dum-dum.
I got them.
Okay. So Ron, I'll start with you while I look up a game list.
Okay.
What do you suggest to Quaggy to start with?
It's got to be the GOAT. It's got to be Ghost of Tsushima for sure. If he decides not to go with that, though, there's always Horizon and Spider-Man and God of War 2018. He can't go wrong with any of those.
Okay. There's some good picks. Yeah, I'm looking at the list again. There's not like a ton to choose from, but there's some good games here. I'm gonna throw the little dark horse pick in here. I'm gonna say Returnal. Quaggy, I think you should start with Returnal. It's a fun, roguelike game. It's in space. It's got some horror stuff, and I like that game a lot. So shout out to Returnal. But what about you, Feli? Is there as a game you recommend? What do you think?
I'm 100% going to say if you like platformers, Sackboy Big Adventures there. Check that one out.
Ratchet and Clank. I'm a little bit
Ratchet
surprised.
and Clank Rift Apart is also there. Check, I mean, I haven't played Rift Apart. I have played the one previous to that. But yeah, no, those two platformers, like, easy, and family friendly too. So you can jump in with your kids if you want.
Nice.
So why not?
You know what? Sackboy is not really a kid-friendly game. There are levels in that, and then I cannot see kids playing that thing. There are some tough levels.
There are also some levels, Ron, that I think Amanda would rage at as well.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. So it's an enjoyable game, but boy, there's some levels that will make you, yeah.
Oh, you know what? Even the time trials. I've done some of those time trials. They're a bit difficult, but
that time trial at the very end is a mess. So I gave up on that one.
I like challenging myself a little bit.
Nice.
Oh, that's right. I remember conquering all your scores when I was playing that.
Good
it was so great. Well, she sent me death threats when she sent me death threats. Oh, yeah,
Fulia, how could you?
Oh, Koala, don't maybe you had to pull receipts for this. She's like, I see that you're doing all these scores.
Wow.
I'm gonna get you back.
That is not a death threat.
I'm just having a good time. I'm just having a good time.
And in this moment, I finally felt sorry for Ron. I'm so sorry.
Wow.
You had to deal with this.
Oh, Koala, you menace. Oh, God.
Anyways, moving on. We got CowboyDangerD who asks, first off, congratulations on episode 150. Well, thank you very much, Cowboy.
Thank you.
Yeah. Secondly, my question is, what is your favorite what if in gaming? Mine goes back to before the legendary fighting game Soul Calibur 2 came out. Did you know that Cloud was originally supposed to be this special character for the PS2 version? I believe that they couldn't get the deal to go through before the game came out, so it was Heihachi from Tekken instead. As always, keep up the amazing work and shiny side up, which means stay safe. It's a trucker term. So there we go. We learned some trucker terms. Also, apparently, JB in the chat is just like, Koala's a deadly as
see?
well.
JB knows what's up.
No.
We're learning so much
They're
tonight.
drop bears. I'm not a drop bear. I'm a koala.
So this is interesting because, like, there aren't too many what ifs that usually come to light because a lot of these are decisions that are made in the back room. So, like, when you look at the history of the game industry, like, there aren't a ton of these. The biggest one, I think, when it pertains to PlayStation, though, is like, what if Nintendo and PlayStation continued down the Nintendo PlayStation route instead of PlayStation being splintered off? Like, what would that world even look like? Instead of us getting PlayStation, it would just be Nintendo and Sony.
Thank you, Nintendo,
together.
for stabbing them in the back. Thank you so much.
Yeah. That would be such a weird world to be living in.
I can't even imagine how that would be. That would just be strange. Yeah.
Because then you would imagine like some of the Sony franchises would end up on Nintendo consoles, and then like
I guess so, but it depends too. Though, would Nintendo allow mature games?
Well, I mean, they did in the N64 era. I mean, they had Carmageddon and stuff like that. So
yeah, but I don't know, man. Some of those PlayStation first party ones, I can't see that on the Nintendo console. But in a metaverse, you never know.
Yeah, but yeah, other than that, like, there aren't too many other examples I could really think of that are PlayStation created. But I'm curious to know are there any examples you guys thought of when it came to gaming what ifs?
I thought about what happened if Square had closed up shop before putting out Final Fantasy.
Oh, that would be interesting. Like way back in the day, like in the, the
when
NES
old
era.
SquareSoft days. Yeah, if they decided to just go ahead and not make one more game and had closed up shop before Final Fantasy release, man, that could have been RPGs may have been a different landscape. So because that was FF, man, FF was a big title for them. That saved the company and kind of changed RPGs at that time. So
right.
Yeah.
Because you're right. Like, I guess Enix would probably dominate the RPG landscape with stuff like Dragon Quest. But even then, like, a lot of the evolutions from Dragon Quest came from them, kind of their rivalry with Square with Final Fantasy. So, like, that whole landscape would look totally different.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. I don't know. That would be so
weird.
I guess. I guess the other one was, like, Capcom was very close to also closing up shop in, like, the mid 2000s. So like, but maybe what if Capcom closed up shop before, you know, the Monster Hunter really kicked off, or Resident Evil came back? Because like that was back in the era, like the early 360 era and PS3 era for them was like them trying to find themselves again with like Operation Raccoon City and like the Bionic Commando.
Oh god.
Yeah, they had so many franchises that just were not moving the needle, and they were ready to just call it quits.
Didn't they do wasn't Dark Void? Wasn't that one?
Yeah, Dark Void. Yeah, that was
in
that time period too, which of course recently got delisted as well.
Yeah. God, that was dark times.
Yeah. Yeah. Very different gaming landscape. And of course, the biggest gaming what if that I just haunts my nightmares all the time, Ron. What if StarCraft Ghost actually came out? That would have changed everything, because that game looked amazing.
And I still do not understand why that did not release. I don't get it.
Yeah.
I mean, the game was pretty much done.
It was done. Blizzard talked about this. Of course, for folks that don't know the story, StarCraft Ghost was a stealth game in the StarCraft universe that they were developing for consoles, including the PlayStation 2 and the original Xbox. And the game was basically done, and they're just like, oh, well, we're actually just going to cancel this game.
It looked good.
Yeah, it looked awesome. I was like, sign me up. It looked like Splinter Cell, but in the future, and it looked so cool. So it bums me out because I'm a huge fan of StarCraft, and it's just like, I can't believe that game never came out.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense, man.
Yeah. But anyways, moving on, we got Matt, who asks, hi there, a short time, first time. What was your favorite reveal at a video game showcase? Mine has to be Resident Evil 2 Remake, announced at E3. So I think we could go outside PlayStation with this one a little bit, because I feel like my favorite game announcements have usually been at Nintendo showcases, actually. The one that I freaked out the most about, because I'm wearing the Metroid hat right now, was when they announced Metroid Samus Returns in 2017 at like the Nintendo Direct there, because that was the first like actual Metroid game we had gotten since Metroid Prime 3 on the Wii. So in 10 years, we hadn't had like a proper one besides, of course, you know, Metroid Prime Federation Force, which was not really a Metroid game. So I like freaked out by that announcement. I was so excited for Metroid Samus Returns. The fact that Metroid was coming back in like a 2D form, like I couldn't wait. Like that was one of my most anticipated announcements I'd ever had from a showcase ever. And it was probably one of the showcase announcements I will always remember to this day is like me getting the most excited at. So I have that one up there. Also, Metroid Prime 4 just being announced as well at the same showcase also blew my mind. Also, I can't believe that game still isn't out yet, even though it was announced in 2017 at that showcase where Metroid Samus Returns.
What is going on with that? Good Lord.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. But yeah, I'm a huge Metroid fan, so of course that would be my top one. Whereas at a PlayStation showcase, I would have to say the announcement of Final Fantasy VII Remake, the original one, because like that was before we knew it was going to be a trilogy and stuff like that. I was like all in on them doing remake, and then we learned more about it, and then we actually played it. I look at that game, not as fun. But that original announcement, Tron, got me very excited. So
that was almost my pick.
Okay, then let's hear it. What's your pick then?
God of War 2018 reveal, man. That live music was fantastic. I mean, they really got you into it, like what was coming. I mean, the music was just epic. And then when they sit there and kind of just start showing it, and you hear Kratos' voice, and he comes out the shadows, man, it was over. that was just great. And then they gave you some gameplay with it. So yeah, man, that was that was just an outstanding reveal.
Yeah. That was a good reveal, especially, too, because it wasn't like a cinematic trailer or anything like that. It was just straight gameplay.
Yeah,
them playing the game.
Gave it to you. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Fully, what about you? Is there been one announcement at a showcase that really got your juices flowing?
To be honest, I don't really have anything in mind, only because, like I said when we were doing our predictions, that I don't go into showcases with any kind of expectation. So whenever anything is announced, it's always something new to me. So I'm always happy to see something really new that may catch my interest in terms of some of the genres that I've played. And I don't think I've really gotten too excited about many games at all, to be honest. I'm just happy to see whatever games, come out being showcased. And if I'm interested in playing it, then I'll definitely wishlist it for sure.
Okay.
So, where is Locke left when we need her so she could la-di-da? I cannot believe that she is not here for this moment.
But Lachlan is the person that gets la-di-da'd but isn't la-di-da'ing other people.
That was just a la-di-da moment. Look at you. Just, whatever.
That's not what I meant by my comment.
I was going to say, I wasn't getting that impression.
It was a whole vibe. It was a whole vibe, Ryan.
Oh, wow.
I don't know about that.
Please.
It's fine. Yeah. If anything, I'm really excited if we get a chance to watch some showcases together fully over the summer. How excited you get for some of this stuff?
Yeah.
She will for the cozy stuff. She'll be there for that.
Oh, I'm even though it's going to be during my sleep time, I'm going to be awake for the Wholesome Direct. I definitely want to be there for that one.
Of course. Of course. No one is surprised by that whatsoever.
But I will join you for Day of the Dips.
Okay. Well, that's even more into your sleep time. Or I guess maybe that's the time you're waking up.
No, it's actually a little bit more time of my awake time.
Okay. Because, Summer Game Fest, I forgot, how long that showcase is. It's usually, 3 hours. So. It's getting to the point where I'm actually probably not even going to be sitting at this desk. I'm going to probably change my setup around where I'm sitting at my reclining chair and sitting back and watch it because,
it's going to be a long one.
It's going to be long. I want to be comfy for that showcase. Mm-hmm. But, all right. Next up, we got Black Wyver, who says, "Good day, folks. Hope y'all are doing well. Questions for the week. What single game do you most closely associate with Matt?" I mean, you've got a couple choices here.
There's only two choices. Yep, there you
Resident
go.
Evil 4.
There you go.
Yeah,
that's it. Either one of those. Flip a coin.
Final Fantasy 7 remake.
Final Fantasy 8. Clearly, that's the one I think.
Oh God! Don't let Dave hear this.
No, Resident Evil 2 is what I think of Matt. I think of Resident Evil 2 because I always visualize his shelf behind him, which is just filled with 8 different copies of Resident Evil 2.
Well, John brought up a good point. Xenobablaw. That's another one. I forgot about that.
Correction, Rod. It says Xenobabe here.
Yeah, Xenobablaw. Yeah, I said it.
For audio listeners, I'm shaking my head at Rod. I can't help it.
All right, I said the correct way. I don't understand.
He must have dyslexia or something.
Maybe. Or maybe I just don't like bad games. I don't know.
Oof, shots fired.
You're making people really sad out here. People like these games.
They'll be fine. They'll be fine.
I mean, you might be one of them soon when you get your potato.
Yeah.
Even if I get a potato, I'm not playing that.
Ron, I will get your address and I will mail you my copy of Xenoblade Chronicles 3. It'll be great.
I do not have to play it, though. That's the thing. You can mail it to me all day. Return to sender is what's going to happen.
Oh, my God.
Yep. Yes, JB.
Yeah. Anyways, Black Wyver's second question. If you had to recommend one game that Matt would have to play before the end of the year, what game would that be and why? I mean, I've already told Matt what game he needs to play before the end of the year, and he'll play it at some point. It's Parasite Eve, because that quite possibly might be the most Matt game that he's never played before that he should play at some point, because I know he should.
Yeah.
Do we have any other games Matt needs to play?
I think that Matt would. I think he would enjoy Binary Domain. That game kind of fits the kind of games that he likes. Plus, it's a great game, period, anyway. But it has a certain cheese factor that I think that he'll like. Yeah, I think that would be a good one. Binary Domain, for sure.
Okay. Fulia, what about you? What do you think Matt should play this year?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I'm not
Koala
too
wants him
sure.
to play Bear and Breakfast.
I know the answer for you. I know perfect answer that you should say. Pepsi Man. He should play Pepsi Man before the end of the year.
100%.
Matt is going to be upset with you.
Oh, come on. It's going to be fun. That game's fun, Ron. It's fun.
Matt is going to be upset about that one.
We're going to play it in Extra Life, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be part of Ryan Turford's Tower of Terror. It's going to be great.
Why not Dave the Diver? He'll enjoy that.
You might.
Koala wants him to be in pain. It wants to torture him.
It's not torture if the game's good, Ron.
Yeah, exactly. Dave the Diver's great.
Yeah.
Dave
So
the
is Pepsi
Diver
Man.
is.
Yes.
Pepsi Man.
It could have been worse. I could have pulled out Crazy Bus or Desert Bus or any of these other myriad of games that I have set up for Ryan Turford's Tower of Terror only in Extra Life.
Oh boy.
Look, I feel like if he was to try a game, I know how much he really enjoyed Night in the Woods. Maybe he might enjoy, and I know Ron doesn't like this, Fall of Porcupine.
I
might
think
actually
we need to
enjoy
stop
that.
the slander of acting like I hated the game. It's just that I didn't
Look, I
find
know
with
if Lochleth were here.
She has already given me enough hell about this game.
I mean,
She's acting
Ron,
like
you're
I just
basically
straight
dead to
trashed it.
Lockleth at this point. So
I didn't trash the game. I just said I didn't click with me, and I dropped it. That was it.
Yeah, I feel like Matt would enjoy Fall of Porcupine, to be honest. If he really enjoyed Night in the Woods, he'd probably enjoy that too.
He might. He might. Yeah. That's a
can
good
see
call.
It's got a bit of that dark humor in it as well. So
Night in the Woods actually was a good game until the end. So
okay. And then last question from Black Wyver. Lastly, non-gaming related question. What TV show are you currently watching that you'd recommend to others? Black Wyver, I'm not actually watching any TV shows right now. I haven't actually watched TV shows. I guess the last TV show I watched was I do every 2 weeks watch the newest episode of The Last Drive-In starring Joe Bob Briggs over on Shudder. That's a weekly show or bi-weekly show where Joe Bob Briggs, who's like a famous TV personality, he watches these horror movies, and then he provides commentary during certain breaks during the horror movie. And they're always usually a lot of cheesy horror movies. Sometimes they're the bigger horror movies, but a lot of times they're a lot of cheesy ones. So I do like watching the episodes each week of Joe Bob. So there's that. But also, I honestly just watch a lot more movies. I watched Hello, Mary Lou Prom Night 2 this week. I watched some other horror movies. So, I mean, that's much more my jam than TV shows. But what about you, Ron? Did you watch any TV this week? Or any TV lately?
Yeah. Getting through Bad Batch still. I think anybody who's a Star Wars fan should watch that. That's pretty much like S tier writing, characters. Just Bad Batch is just great stuff.
yes,
Great stuff. So if you're a Star Wars fan, there's absolutely zero excuse why you should not be watching Bad Batch whatsoever.
Okay. Nice.
Yes, I agree.
What about you, Fulia?
So I finished the Bad Batch, and I'm also currently in the middle of watching through X-Men 97. Really good.
Okay.
I've never actually watched the original animated series, but I am planning on going back to watch it. It is on
good
Disney
stuff.
Plus. So now that I'm kind of enjoying 97, I will definitely go back and watch the original from the beginning because I'm really enjoying it. It's really good.
I'm kind of surprised by that because I almost feel like it would be almost required watching that before watching the new one, but I guess not.
Yeah, look, I never really grew up watching Marvel animated shows when I was a kid, or not even DC, to be honest. So for me as an adult, I'm actually learning more and more about all these new, all these old animated shows, and I'm I was never a fan of He-Man. Masters of the Universe, and when the Netflix sequel show came out, I was really into it. I'm really enjoying it. So I kind of love that sort of thing where I'm being introduced to older animated shows in a newer style, in a new generation. So yeah, I'm currently sort of in the middle of watching X-Men 97. And another thing I'm also watching is Doctor Who, the new season of Doctor Who.
Oh,
with
nice.
The new Doctor.
Yeah, I really do want to watch it at some point because I do like Doctor Who.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
but there's some. That's a show that I kind of dip in and out of. So.
Okay.
And also kind of just want to wait for maybe for the full like series to finish before going into this one. That's kind of what I was waiting for with X-Men 97 as well because I wanted to wait for it to just wrap up and then watch it at my own pace rather than waiting week to week. But also number one, I want to circle back real quick to these old Marvel animated shows. Number one, good on you for wanting to go back and watch the old X-Men show like that. It's one of those things where like for the longest time that show wasn't really accessible to people in a lot of ways because like if you didn't watch it when it was originally broadcast, unless you bought the DVDs or the VHS tapes that it was on, like there was really no way to watch it. So a lot of people just never went back and watched it if you didn't grow up in that era. But number two, if you like that and you get through that, I would recommend the 90s Spider-Man cartoon that's also on Disney Plus because that actually also crosses over with the X-Men 97 cartoon as well. So like,
I was going to say there was an episode that had a Spider-Man in it.
Exactly. That's why though. Because like that, it's a callback to that. It's a callback to them crossing over every once in a while. But also that show is just really good in its own right as well. Yeah. So like, especially if you like Spider-Man, like I think it's a good show to go back to. So and they're both on Disney Plus, so you can just marathon them however you wish.
All right, cool. I will definitely do that because that's what I did with Bad Batch. I ended up watching Bad Batch, but I didn't start I didn't start watching Bad Batch until I was caught up with Clone Wars. And I managed to get through Clone Wars up until the point where Bad Batch was introduced. And then I sort of kept going from there and then started the new series of Bad Batch. So Bad Batch is definitely 100%, definitely, must watch if you like Star Wars. Yeah.
Okay, nice. Yeah. Last question of the week comes to us from Kiku, who says, do you ever feel overwhelmed by all the games that are coming out and have a hard time deciding on what to play? We know Ron has the wheel pick for him, but what about the rest of you? I mean, I usually don't have decision paralysis. Like that's usually how I kind of describe the kind of thing where it's like if you're looking at a Netflix library and there's so much stuff there that you should never choose anything. That's the thing. Like I usually have a pretty good idea as to what I'm going to play, or is this whatever I'm in the mood for? Like I don't ever feel like I'm missing out on new games if I don't play them right away. But also it's just like I've always played the games day one that I am super excited about. So like I personally don't have this problem. But I'll go to you since we already know that Ron's got the wheel. But what do you think about this?
Yeah, look, I always have a hard time trying to keep up with a lot of the new stuff that's being released. Whenever there is something that I really want to play, and I'll go out of my way to buy it day one, but I don't always necessarily play it day one. Case in point, Prince of Persia Lost Crown is still sitting on the shelf in its shrink wrap. I have not touched that game since its release. And I feel like I am missing out because a lot of people have been saying how much they've been really enjoying it. But I'm like the type of gamer where I start games, I don't finish them.
Okay. And
then I'll have like a running list of games that I am currently playing. So right now, I'm currently playing, in quotation marks, about 5 or 6 different games. Some of which I've decided to shelf for a future day when I want to come back to it. But right now, for me, it's, even though I'm playing all these different games at once, it's not because I just get very distracted, and I feel like when I'm playing the game, I end up getting to a point in that game and then dropping it for a little bit of time because a new game comes out and I'll be like, oh, I want to try this one now. Yes, Ron.
It's God of War 2018, one of these so-called shelved games. When you
I knew that was coming.
When you know you've abandoned it. I will not stand for these lies on our show.
If you look on my backlog profile, you will see that I have put it down as shelved.
Good. You're never going back to that.
I will go back to it.
Lies.
I'm trying to find time. Shut up, Ron.
Yes.
That's all he wants me to say. He just wants me to get him to shut up.
Far out, Ron. Far out.
Exactly.
I'm good. My farm's been called. I'm good.
Yeah, I'm just that type of person that I just have a hard time trying to keep up with all the games that I want to play them all at once.
Yeah. That is a tough thing because like balancing like what games you play, how many games you play at a time is a tough thing. That's why like usually my MO is usually I don't start a big game until I've finished whatever big game I'm playing or until I'm ready to drop it. And then I usually have like a game as a service game and then a sports game that I kind of play when I need like a palate cleanser or a break from one of those.
Yeah, so it's like one of those things where I think Endless Ocean came out at a good time because now I'll play Endless Ocean Luminous whenever I can't think of what I want to play. So I'm just like, I'll just jump into this and do some dives and that'll be that, and I could just spend like an hour of just being, in like a zone of just swimming through the ocean. And that's all I really need. And then that's my gameplay for the night. But when it comes to playing other games, I have to be in the mood for them. And half the time I come home very tired from work.
Yeah.
So my brain energy is already depleted by the time I get home. And I'm just like, I can't be bothered playing anything that's going to make me think.
Yeah. No, I hear you because that's like when I come home during the week, like it's 10 o'clock at night. And when I'm able to play games at night and it's just like, well, like I don't want to always get into like something big or anything like that or something story based. Like sometimes I just want to hop into Topspin and play some tennis or, hop into Final Fantasy 14 and do like some the gold saucer stuff or whatever. But Ron has a question from the press pool.
I have a game suggestion for Koala since she said sometimes she doesn't want to think when she comes home from a hard day. You don't have to use your brain for Xenobabes. So there you go. Play that.
Yes, you do.
You really don't.
I have Xenoblade.
There's no story. It's nothing to use your brain on.
You know what I have to use my brain on? What button do I press for the combat? The combat is what screws me over.
I was gonna say it seems like there's a lot of thinking that goes into that game.
It must be the combat only, because sure as hell ain't the story. So that's fine.
I haven't gotten far enough to get to story yet.
I was gonna say, Ron. I don't know. It might just be that people actually enjoy the story in that game. Maybe. Who knows? But, Ron, I'm gonna kind of swing things around with this question, because obviously, you don't ever have to worry about what game to pick because the wheel picks it for you. Mm-hmm. But so I'm gonna ask you the question, spinning this around a little bit. Do you ever feel like you have the fear of missing out because you can't play a big game because the wheel hasn't picked it yet?
Nah, man, I'm good. I mean, there's 100 and something games on there. By the time the end of the year, it'll probably be 130, 140. It'll come up when it comes up. I mean, if I play one game, I'm still going to miss out on something else. If I choose to play Cyberpunk, after I finish Centennial Case, there's still Tales of Arise I haven't played. There's still a million other games that were blockbusters. Spider-Man 2, the list goes on and on. So I'm always going to miss out on something if I take that approach.
Man. So then, man, then I'm just like, well, Ron, how do you feel if Ghost of Tsushima 2 comes out, but the wheel just never picks it?
It will.
It keeps picking other games.
It will.
You don't have that kind of control.
I was going to say, I don't think you have that kind of control.
Hey, guys,
it's
you'll
random.
be surprised. You'll be surprised in
the sense that you'll just spin the wheel until it picks it? Is that what you're
if it gets to the point where it goes so long, then I'm going to sit there and just go ahead and just pick it.
But that's not how the wheel works.
That's not how your wheel would work.
Wait, hold on. So if there is a game you really want to play, but the wheel isn't picking it, you're just going to go ahead and play it anyway?
Here's the thing. There's some games that aren't on the wheel that are automatic day ones. Falcon games are automatic day ones. Ghost of Tsushima 2 will probably be almost an automatic day one, but I'll still give it a 6-month window because most time games that aren't Falcon games always need about 6 months to actually play correctly. Then I might play Ghost 2. It's going to depend.
I'm not going to lie, Fulia. At this moment, I don't think I've ever been this disappointed in Ron because I feel like I've been deceived. I feel like the rules of the wheel have just been bent out of control.
That Falcon rule has always been for day one. You go back and ask Kev, anybody else, Falcon games have always been day one purchases because those games actually play pretty much correctly on day one.
Well, you know what this means though, Ron? means Fule, you need to start a list of like the rules of the wheel for Ron.
Yeah,
like,
I think
the
I need
rules
to
for
do.
Sean.
You really don't. Save that for Sean and
I
Matt.
need to make.
I'd say that for Sean and Matt. I don't need that.
We need to know the rules of this wheel run because I feel like we don't know enough about the wheel system.
Koala, there'll be one line for the rules. Falcom Games always number one.
But
That's
Ghost
it.
of Tsushima 2 isn't a Falcom game.
Ghost of Tsushima 2, that's totally different. It's samurai, man. Come on. There's certain things that just override everything.
But that also
Samurai's
would mean
rule.
that. But that also means that Assassin's Creed
Nope.
Shadows could be there.
Wrong.
It also could be, you could even stretch it to say Pokemon Conquest could be fit in there as well.
All right,
'Cause
everybody.
Pokemon
That's
with-
the end of the show. Thank you for showing up
Ambition.
tonight.
You hear this where he's trying to run away.
Yeah,
because
don't talk to me about no Pokemon.
Well, I mean, you might learn about it soon when you buy your potato.
Nah,
Exactly.
I don't have to worry about that because Pepsi Man ain't showing up, so I'm fine.
Hey,
You never know.
You never know.
I swear, if it actually does, I'll scream.
Hey, I will show you the Amazon page and everything. I will buy it right live for you, Koala. I will show you.
I mean, just to throw it out there, Ron, I've seen crazier games come to the PlayStation Plus Premium Extra tier from the PlayStation 1 era, like Star Wars Episode 1 The Phantom Menace. So, like, it wouldn't surprise me if they just brought Pepsi Man as a PS5 re-release for PS.
Yeah, but it has to be announced at the showcase, and it's not going to happen.
You never
Pepsi
know.
Man don't got that kind
You
of
never
weight.
know.
Ryan, we need to
I have
contact someone
zero
at Sony.
fears. Yeah,
Yeah,
you
we,
guys
need to
better
call
get up
someone,
with.
we need to make some phone calls about Pepsi.
Yeah,
Man.
somebody get up with Herman Holtz to tell Herman he needs this to happen. Herman's
well-
going to hang up the phone on you.
We'll get someone to go in their Pepsi Man costume and walk up to Herman Hulse and go, and then
Yeah.
he'll have a Pepsi in his hand all of a sudden, and we're
Oh,
like, we
boy.
need Pepsi Man on the console.
Boy. You know what? Somebody needs to get walked out by security on showcase that's fine. It happens all the time with Jeff Keighley. This time it's going to happen on a showcase for PS Station. Yeah, man.
Yeah. Anyways, I think that's going to do it for tonight's episode of the PlayStation Drive. Well, we're still like on the rails a little bit. So,
Yeah.
first off, we got to say thank you to all of our patrons over at patreon.com/carpoolgaming, starting with our ultimate producers, Jonathan Brown, the man behind the music on this podcast, as well as the Xbox Drive. You can check out all of his music over at Purple Monkey Entertainment in the link tree, linktr.ee/PME/JIB. Look, my brain's broken, okay? This whole conversation broke my brain. I'm sorry, JB. Also, Cwagmire, who humbly reminds you that the best babes are, in fact, Xenobabes. Our platinum producers are Robby Bobby Miller, Tim Paullin, and Smokin Joe. And our gold members, Adam K., Anna, Awesome Dave 1337, BobLoblaw, Brad Moore, Cecily Carrozza, CowboyDangerD, CrocoKyle, Dan and Luma, Dannohh, Emily O'Kelly, Hoppel, Jan32, Patrice Mallette, Peje EP, Shane Erickson, Tech Mike, Tim Aulph, and Toxic. Huge thank you to all of our friends over at patreon.com/carpoolgaming. If you want to hop in the car with us, head over to Patreon and choose the tier that's right for you. And now, Ron, where can people find you on the internet?
Savoy Prime, PlayStation, Xbox, Steam, backlogged, and Savoy_Prime on Twitter.
Nice. And Fuya, where can people find you?
Foolish Fuji on PlayStation and Foolish Fuji on Twitch and on all the socials and on YouTube. But if you want to get all of the links easily, foolishfuji.card.co.
Card.co.
Two R's in the card.
Card.co.
Far out.
I'm just kidding. That's not even the right way to use Phil Far Out.
I know. It's always you guys who don't know how to use it. That's the great thing.
Hey, I'm the Aussie. I know how to use it.
I was just
I'm
gonna
talking about Ryan and Matt.
what?
He
I
used it
use it-
correctly.
I use it in the way that Fuya described to me that it's supposed to be using.
Yeah.
You don't use that all the time correctly, sir.
Anyways, you can also find me on Twitter, otherwise known as X, as Ryan Turford. You also find us on X at Carpool Gaming, right here at youtube.com/Carpool Gaming, of course, podcast services around the globe. So, for Ron and Fuya, I'm Ryan. This has been the PlayStation Drive, episode 150. Only 50 more episodes until episode 200. The countdown begins now, folks. And we're out. Good night, everybody.
Adios, friends. Thanks for checking out this week's episode of the PlayStation Drive. Now, before you drive off, please make sure to like and subscribe on YouTube and follow us at Carpool Gaming on socials. Don't forget to check out our awesome merch on carpoolgaming.com, and you can also support the show on Patreon at patreon.com/carpoolgaming, where you'll unlock all kinds of exclusive content. Links to everything are in the description.